Port Adelaide, they were disappointing in their 42-point loss to the West Coast Eagles in Perth. Defensive coach Nathan Bassett joins us to talk about it. Nathan, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I'm sure that's not the way you want to play. What were the big issues for you?
Look, certainly our significant issues were around the contest. We were particularly poor inside and then, our work rate to get outside and get to the next contest. We were well beaten by the Eagles in that area.
Mm. So the contested ball number was a big number, was minus 40. In terms of that can encapsulate a lot of things. When you broke it down, what were the big ones? You're saying inside footy was one of them.
Yeah. So the free kicks was probably the biggest one in contested footy. We're minus 17 for free kicks and contested ball number of 44, but there still leaves a gap of 27, and you lose by 27, you don't win too many games. So. A lot of it was inside and first possession, but it was also it was pretty consistent everywhere, whether it be in contested marking or in our ability to work to the next contest. So getting beat like that much, you're getting beat in most areas.
Mm. That's now become a bit of a consistent theme this year. You won contested ball just once in round one against Fremantle. Are you working on that? Is that something that's taking up some time at training for you?
Yeah, taking up plenty of time. I think there's games where you're doing it to a reasonable level, and that's okay. That's certainly enough for us to compete. But there was some efforts on the weekend which was well below what we'd expect, and we've probably become a little bit inconsistent as a team now for a while. So it's probably good conversations today around. In improving our consistency in that effort and being tough, being a strong footy club.
I'm struggling with the why with that. What are the players' feedback to you guys as to why those numbers are like it? 6 of 7 differential in contested ball this year, and the raw numbers you're somewhere around the 14th mark. Yeah,
some of those are reasonably close in as far as losing contested ball. Clearly on the weekend we got smoked. In that area, we haven't been as consistent inside. Ollie's been pretty good. Didn't have his best game Saturday, but generally he's been pretty good. We haven't had a regular ruckman. We had him back for the weekend, so that when you're hitting the ball to the advantage, every first possession off a ruckman is a contested footy, so that's going to put you behind a little bit. And I think we're about -5 in hit-outs to advantage. So you lose a little bit there, but it's our method once the ball leaves the area, ensuring that we've got people leaving and trying to leave first, so they can quickly get to the next contest.
How far do you drill down on that free kick differential? I don't know when's the last time I've seen 30 to 13. That's -17. Will someone ring the umps?
I'm not sure. I think you have your lopsided numbers on occasion. I think when you're second to the ball, as often as we were, then it can certainly happen. But it probably happens away from home more than happening at home.
Okay, free kicks from your defenders to their forwards. I thought there were far too many of that weren't paid at the other end. There, I've said it. That's they were there. There was probably we lost some aerial balls that we shouldn't on the weekend, particularly late. But Darling's playing exceptional football. I thought Jonas did a good job on Kennedy. If you break down Kennedy's 4 goals, there weren't really some of them. There wasn't what Jonas could do about them. He's playing great footy for us, but Darling probably got away from us a little bit. And then Gaff was very good for them, but for us to West Coast were 1 down for nearly the whole match. For them to beat us the way they did in that area, was disappointing.
Your kick to handball ratio seemed to be a bit out of whack as well. You had more handballs than kicks. Is that caused through pressure? What can you explain that?
I think it's a little bit about West Coast pressure. I think it's a little bit of an overreaction from the playing group, and probably how we message that too as a coaching group post Geelong, where we played too much kick mark footy, and there was a little bit of that last week, and it continued again
where we're just referring the pressure from one person to the next. So, and that was consistent through the SNFL team as well. So, there's something in how we message that to the playing group, but also how the playing group take the message of, okay, we've got a handle to help us speed us up and help us score a little bit more to ensuring that, we do that, but we're still doing, what we've been doing quite well at times, which is controlling the footy.
So they're taking every message literally. I mean, I used to have a coach that said, I don't want a player that does everything I say, and literally everything I say, and then I don't like a player that does nothing I say. Sounds like your boys are very literal to the message.
We can be a little bit literal, and there's certainly a lot worse people to coach.
Yeah.
At least they're listening, and but we've got to correct it back to playing the way we should, and it's always gets a bit. Sometimes it gets a bit challenging as a coach, because if you say something, whatever you say, we end up doing too much of it. But we're saying tough and physical. Hopefully we get too much tough and physical this week.
You're doing your jobs too well by the sounds. How frustrating is it as a collective, that's coaches, club, whole of club and players, that you can be so good in most areas against North and then be so bad against the Eagles? And from quarter to quarter, your inconsistency there is there, Bass.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can't speak for the rest of the footy club. But certainly from a football department perspective, it is. But that's part of footy. You're in it long enough. You're involved in lots of wins and you're involved in lots of losses. We've got to help our playing group mature so that we can take a message or a small adjustment to what we're doing and add it to our game plan, and not add it but take away everything else. So that's still part of our all of us as players and coaches getting better so that we play more consistent footy, because at the moment we're a bit too much win-loss, which is a little bit consistent throughout the AFL. It's not an easy competition to play well in each week, but it's okay to lose. It's not okay to get beaten, and we were beaten on the weekend, it's a tough comp. You've got to play pretty consistent footy, and if you do that, you win more often than you're not, and we're not quite doing that at the moment.
Paddy Ryder, 66% game time. Was that a preconceived plan, about that number?
Yeah, that was about that number. I think he might have even played more than Nick Nat. Paddy wasn't going to play huge game time, but it's probably only about 15% off what he'd normally do.
Well, I said the Messiah's back, you'll win. Bloomin' hell. And you lost. Makes me look like an idiot, doesn't it? The old Messiah was back, but he didn't do that well.
Oh, and it can impact the midfielders' mindset as a little bit too. I think we were 17th or 18th for hit-outs going into the game, and the guys have fought pretty hard for 5 weeks, knowing that more than likely the opposition ruckman was going to win it, and then all of a sudden their man's back, and they think he's going to be putting it down the opposite, down their throats again, and it's like, well, hang on, this is Nick Naitanui and Scott Lycett. They're pretty, Nick Naitanui's an enormous man, and Scott Lycett's certainly improving as a ruckman. So, it didn't quite go the midfield's way, and I think we're minus 14 clearance, something like that for the game. So, we didn't get enough balls heading in our direction, which didn't give our forwards enough opportunities.
Bass, one final one. There's a lot spoken about the deck and how hard it is, and you need more time to recover. Just quickly, have any of the players reported any extra soreness?
The ones I've spoken to so far, and I've caught up mainly with the defenders today, they seem fine. So, I haven't heard about too many issues. Clearly, we've only had to play on it once, and looking at our running numbers, it wasn't our hardest working game. So, I think we're pretty fresh and ready to go for this week.
Promises to be a big one. Nathan, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.